So what's good, YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoop, back with some more Draft League content. We've got a Draft League Speed Tour coming up, and it's called the Santa Smackdown, and it will be for the 2018 year. There was one last year. I don't know how many years this goes back and whatnot, but I do know that this did happen last year at least. So this is at least the second annual Santa Smackdown tour, and that's pretty hype. So anyways, we signed up, we got in, and we were in a draft pool. Basically, there was 5 draft pools of 16 people. It was a point-based system, 90 points, 6 to 8 Pokemon required, and drafting a Mega was not required. And then there was some mod-specific rules on bans and stuff like that. And then we would have 1 Z captain. And then there was a new rule for drafts that I haven't actually saw before. It's called stealing rules. So during your pick, you may steal a Pokemon that has been drafted by someone else from that player. So if someone else drafted, hold on, let me go through all the rules first. You can only steal from one person in your draft. A person can only be stolen from once. Round 1 and 2 picks cannot be stolen. A Pokemon cannot be stolen more than once, and once someone is stolen from, it is immediately their pick. So basically, during the draft, after rounds 1 and 2, you can start stealing Pokemon, but you can only steal one. So if somebody drafted, for example, actually, someone did draft, I wanted Charizard and Rotom Wash on one squad, and I was going to steal Rotom Wash, so I could have stolen Rotom Wash from someone, and once I did that, I couldn't steal from anyone else, and Rotom Wash couldn't be stolen from me, and the person I stole from, it would be their pick immediately to replace what they, how they were just stolen from. So that was some pretty, that was a little bit different. That was a lot different actually for me. And then battle rules is basically the same thing, and then there's some baton pass rules. We can pass speed, we can pass other stats, we just can't pass speed and stats. So any combination of stats outside of speed can be passed, and then speed can be passed alone. So that's pretty cool. And then Megas are not first turn mandatory, which is pretty cool. Makes Charizard a little bit more viable. Well, not a little bit more viable, but it makes mind games. It creates mind games, and it makes Sharpedo really, really nice. Makes Mega Slowbro pretty good because you can use Slowbro's Regenerator before every Mega Evolve and so on and so forth. Anyways, there would be pools of 5 players, and it would be round robin style, and then the top 2 players from each pool would advance to the bracket rounds. So we've got our draft. We're in the middle of doing the pool play right now. We won't talk about our battles yet. We'll save that for another day, but we'll talk about what we actually drafted. And as you can see on screen, Charizard's been sitting there for a minute. This was our first pick of the Santa Smackdown 2018 draft. We had last pick in our pool, which was a little bit unfortunate, but it's okay. So we had 16th pick, so we immediately grabbed Charizard. I don't think I have to say much about Charizard's. Its stats are fantastic. Its typing's fantastic. It has an amazing ability in Tough Claws with Dragon Dance and Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz, Earthquake, Roost, Will-O-Wisp, Roost, and then things like Toxic, Fire Spin, Sub, Roost, all kinds of different things Charizard can do. It can be a Sunny Day, Flamethrower, Solar Beam, Focus Blast set, Dragon Pulse, so on and so forth. Charizard's phenomenal. Dragon Dance set is magnificent in draft. You can customize your moveset to fit, tailor-made movesets to fit your opponent's squad. Say my opponent doesn't have a fire resist, I can bring Dragon Dance, Flare Blitz, Roost, Will-O-Wisp, something like that. Say my opponent has no switch into my Dual Stab, but like he does have a fat water type to that. My Dragon Claw can rip through those, so we're fine there. Charizard's phenomenal. I love Charizard. Anyways, we'll move on. Talk a little bit about our second pick. We had a Clefable here. I won't be using the Cute Charm ability. More than likely going to be using Unaware, but there's sometimes that I will be using Magic Guard if it's better for the team, so on and so forth. this thing doesn't have great stats, but its typing and abilities make it phenomenal. And its stats are, I would say, average, maybe below average, to be honest. But yeah, like I mentioned, its move pool and abilities and its singular fairy typing is just phenomenal. Clefable's awesome. It's a nice wish passer. It's a pretty good cleric. It can set up stealth rocks, has access to knockoff, gets great coverage, surf, thunderbolt, moonblast, ice beam, flamethrower, fire blast, so on and so forth. Clefable's phenomenal. But yeah, that being said, we can move on to our next pick. So we got Charizard and Clefable on the wheel, and then we had to wait once again and come back on the wheel again. And our first pick on the wheel the second time around, our third pick overall, was Gliscor. The reason being was I wanted a ground type immunity, and I was going to pair it with Rotom Wash, but Rotom had actually got taken. So what I was going to do was going to wait a few rounds and then steal Rotom Wash. And then I would have Rotom and Gliscor and Charizard on the same squad, and I would have loved that. That's what I was aiming for. So I went ahead and got Gliscor this round, and I paired it up with Bronzong. But as soon as I picked Bronzong, somebody stole Bronzong from me, so I had to grab Empoleon real quick. And yeah, Gliscor and Empoleon, they'll make an okay core. And both of them get Stealth Rock. So I've got 3 Stealth Rockers right now, and both of these 2 Pokemon also get Defog and Taunt. So I should be able to win Hazard Exchanges. And these two Pokemon are here synergistically actually is the word, pair really well together. Gliscor resists fighting types and ground types that Empoleon doesn't like. Empoleon resists ice types and water types that Gliscor doesn't like. It's really nice. One's more physically defensive, one's more specially defensive. They can be tailor-made to suit both defenses though. And then they have solid abilities, leftovers, and then wish support from Clefable is going to be phenomenal for these 2 Pokemon. And yeah, that's going to be the first part of the draft, and we're going to move on to our last 4 picks, potentially. Potentially 4. At the minimum, we have 2 more picks. So I just couldn't stop with the Defoggers, and I grabbed Decidueye next. I love Decidueye. It's such a phenomenal grass type. It has phenomenal special defense, has okay HP, and then its attack and special attack are really solid. It has an awesome move pool, it's got an ability unheard of, literally. It's the only Pokemon with the ability, I believe. Long Reach. It doesn't make contact with contact moves, which is pretty cool. So, like, landing a Leaf Blade on Garchomp, you won't take Rough Skin, Rocky Helmet, so on and so forth. Anyways, it gets Spirit Shackle. It's the only Pokemon that gets the move, I believe. It's a signature move as well. And it's pretty cool. It prevents your opponent from switching out. So, if your opponent switches in on a Spirit Shackle, I know my opponent can't make a double switch. So I don't have to fear a double switch, and I can make my switches based upon that information. This also gives me a spin blocker. I have a spin blocker and a Defiant user at this point. So that's pretty cool. I can take advantage of Rapid Spin and Defog, and I have 3 Defoggers of my own, as well as 3 Stealth Rockers and Mega Charizard X. You can't forget that. This gives me a solid Grass type and another Ground switch in, as if Gliscor wasn't good enough. But just in case, it's always nice to have it. And it rounds out my Fire Water Grass core with the Grass type here, which is really awesome. It gives me some U-turn momentum, which is going to be the theme of the team. We've got U-turn on Gliscor, potentially, and potentially on Decidueye. Next up, we've got Mienshao, which can potentially run U-turn, as well as Reckless High Jump Kick. Inner Focus and Regenerator can be used as well in certain scenarios, but Reckless High Jump Kick is going to be the main thing. We've got access to Drain Punch, so Regenerator, Drain Punch, U-Turn, Life Orb. That's a really nice set as well. It gets access to Knockoff and Poison Jab, so Psychics and Fairy types won't be too big of an issue. And again, like I mentioned, can U-Turn into Charizard. And Mienfoo and Charizard pair really well together because, if I'm running like a Choice Scarf Mienshao, I've been saying Mienfoo, haven't I? If I'm running a Choice Scarf Mienshao and High Jump Kick has a couple obstacles in the way, then I can U-turn out multiple times as he brings in his check and go into my Charizard and fire off these huge attacks and hope that I can use Charizard to beat down my opponent's core to the point that Mienshao can come in and just sweep with Choice Scarf, High Jump Kick. But yeah, that's going to be it for me and Shout, and we can move on to our next pick, which is Old Faithful here. We've got our Shiny Ditto. I'm going to be running the Imposter ability, not Limber. I don't think I need to say that, though. Basically, you just run max HP and an item of choice, and then you've got any one Pokemon or multiple Pokemon. I've actually used Ditto in a game before. I've used it as, like, first of all, wow, I've used Ditto quite a bit. So I've used it to become a defogger and defog hazards away during a match, and I've used it to, I've become 2 different Pokemon in one match before and picked up 2 kills apiece with as 2 different Pokemon when Ditto picked up 4 kills in one match. Picked up 2 as 2 different Pokemon. That was insane. I love Ditto. Ditto's fucking awesome. I don't have to talk much about it, though. It's pretty self-explanatory what it does. And our last Pokemon is going to be Galvantula. This thing gives us sticky webs, which is really nice for like Adamant and Swords Dance Charizards. Banded Mienshao, which is super nice. Banded, Adamant, high jump, reckless high jump kick from Mienshao is just a monster. And behind sticky webs can be a huge, huge threat. And I'm just super excited to put the whole squad together and have a look at it here. Very, very excited to get this tour going. I've had a few matches already. I'll try not to spoil those matches, and I'll be providing coverage on those matches soon in the future. I don't know if I'll put all my pool plays or pool games into one video, or if I will do all my pool play in separate videos and then do my bracket play in separate videos as well. Don't know yet, but this is going to be my draft. A little bit of a recap, not really an analysis, just a quick little recap here, and to basically announce that I will be participating in this tournament. So I've been having a lot of fun in speed drafts. March Madness and Summer Showdown are super fun. We played in the APA Little Cup Speed Tour. That was really fun. And we played in the CPC March Madness All-Star Tour Cup, or not the Tour Cup, but the tour to become an All-Star for the March Madness last year around this time. And we missed this last year. I had some things going on in real life that kind of smacked the hell out of me, and I wasn't able to participate. But yeah, we are going to be able to participate this year, and super excited. Yeah, that's all I can say. Super excited. Looking really forward to using Charizard again. So I hope you guys are hyped. Let me know what, probably Charizard's. I don't see many people picking the other Pokemon over Charizard in terms of favorites. But if you had to pick something else on the squad, what's going to be a standout and an underrated standout here? But yeah, anyways, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.